Of the only entertaining parts about this game, though, was when a timeout was called, and then DeWanna Bonner and Caitlyn Clark had some words. It was right after a foul was called, and I believe it actually was a foul. Either way, Caitlyn Clark went out there defending her teammates, shooing off DeWanna Bonner when DeWanna Bonner was finger twirling.
Dana Bonner just threw the biggest tantrum after facing Caitlyn Clark, and it backfired spectacularly. The former Fever player thought she could stroll back into Phoenix and embarrass her old team, but Clark wasn't having it. What unfolded next has everyone talking, and Bonner's post-game comments made it even worse. What do you think about former players trash-talking their old teams? Let us know in the comments below. The Indiana Fever just suffered another loss to the Phoenix Mercury, and honestly, it wasn't pretty. But the real drama wasn't the score, it was Dana Bonner acting like she had something to prove. She literally quit on the Fever earlier this season, played only 9 games, and now wants to act tough. The audacity is unbelievable.
I can't lie. Looking at this game, fam, the refs were calling some egregious fouls for the Mercury. I can't lie. Like, literally, in this one, all Lexi Hall did was this right here. It's it. She didn't do that. She reached for it, missed the ball. I swear, just caressed her wrist. And the ref just calling it. Now, literally, I just saw a few plays before that. I don't know if it was a few plays before that, but I did see where Kelsey Mitchell was wearing Kalia Copper as a book bag, man. Backpack, had her on her back. I'm like, where's the foul on that? I mean, literally, she was sideways and everything on Kelsey Mitchell's back, no foul call. I'm like, all right.
Let's break down what actually happened here. The Fever went into Phoenix knowing they'd face a team that loves to fire threes all game long. The Mercury's plan is simple. Spread the floor, let Alyssa Thomas dominate in the paint, and hope everyone else hits from deep. It's not rocket science, but it's deadly against teams weak on perimeter defense, which, unfortunately, describes the Fever perfectly. The game started okay for Indiana. They had a small early lead, and for a few minutes, it seemed like they might actually compete. But then the Mercury found their rhythm, and it was downhill from there. The Fever spent most of the game playing catch-up, never ideal on the road. Kelsey Mitchell was cooking, dropping 29 points, and carrying the team. Without her, it would have been a complete blowout. Lexi Hall also showed up with 18 points, so at least some showed up. But the defense? A disaster. The Fever looked like they were playing with their eyes closed half the time. Now here's where things get interesting. Dana Bonner ran around the court like a superstar, putting up 19 points and acting like she'd unlocked the secret to basketball. The same woman who bricked shots and complained about fatigue in Indiana suddenly looked like a different player. It's almost like she didn't even try before. And that's what makes this ridiculous. Bonner essentially gave up on the Fever, left the team hanging after they'd been excited for veteran presence, and now acts like she's proven something. Kelsey Mitchell even said she had the best vet in the world when Bonner arrived. Caitlyn Clark talked about winning a championship. These players genuinely valued Bonner, and she walked away. The real fireworks came during a timeout. Bonner and Clark clashed. There was a foul call, and Bonner started her little finger wagging routine, like she was the ref. Clark wasn't having it. She stepped up defending her teammates, confronted Bonner, and made it crystal clear what she thought about the whole situation.
Then you see Caitlyn Clark to the right, behind the coach, coming out and jawing at DeWanna Bonner.
You could see Bonner saying, yeah, it was a foul, while Clark fired back with, no foul, no foul. Classic trash talk. But here's the thing, Clark had every right to be heated. This was a player who quit on her team, now trying to show off against former teammates. The disrespect was clear, and Clark called it out. What makes it even better? Clark isn't a rookie anymore. She's in her second year, proven herself, and isn't backing down from anyone. Bonner probably thought she could intimidate the young star, but Clark has faced pressure and criticism since college. A washed-up veteran trying to stir drama isn't going to faze her.
definitely the Indiana Fever's rival team. The admin is constantly taking shots at the Indiana Fever, and after the game, it did seem like Alyssa Thomas in the post-game interview took these kind of slights towards like Steph White and the coach.
The truly pathetic part came after the game, when Bonner and her new teammates started running their mouths in post-game interviews. Alyssa Thomas basically said they knew everything the Fever were going to do because Stephanie White doesn't change anything. She claimed the team was predictable and easy to game plan against. That was a direct shot at the coaching staff, coming from someone who used to play for that very same coach.
Yeah, I said earlier, we know everything they're trying to run. So we just form a game plan around that, and yeah, we know they're a team that loves to get to the free throw line, and our goal is just to limit second chance opportunities and just contest it out.
But Thomas didn't stop there. She had the nerve to call the Fever free throw merchants, claiming they're a team that likes to get to the line a lot. This is where the nonsense really shows. The Fever got 8 free throw attempts compared to Phoenix's 23. 8 versus 23. If anyone was getting favorable calls from the refs, it wasn't Indiana.
Indiana Fever.
I mean, I said earlier, we know everything they're trying to run. So we just form a game plan around that, and yeah, we know they're a team that loves to get to the free throw line, and our goal is just to limit second chance opportunities.
And Thomas saying the Fever like to get to the free throw line is like claiming water isn't wet. It makes no sense when you check the actual numbers.
To the free throw line. I mean, who doesn't like to get to the free throw line, for one, but for two, again, of all the teams in the W, this team does not get to the free throw line as much as most other teams. We can just look at the free throw disparity in this game. The Fever got to the line 8 times compared to the 23 times that the Mercury got to the free throw line, and that is in majority due to Alyssa Thomas.
The Fever are one of the teams that get the least favorable whistles in the entire league. Everyone knows the refs have it out for them, especially when it comes to protecting Caitlyn Clark. But here's Thomas acting like they get special treatment.
So she's basically saying Steph White doesn't change it up at all, and she knows everything they're about to do. They're super predictable, and whether or not this is true, that's definitely kind of like shots at your former coach. But that wasn't all she said. She talked about how the Indiana Fever are basically free throw merchants, which is kind of confusing. Like, there maybe have been a couple games where they get some free throws, but like, of all teams in the W, to say that they get to the free throw line.
The whole situation reeks of jealousy and pettiness. Thomas and Bonner are on a team trying to make noise in the playoffs, but they're still obsessed with talking about their former coach in the Fever. If Phoenix is so much better and smarter, why spend time in press conferences talking about Indiana? And let's be real about Bonner's performance. She looked good against the Fever, but that's because Thomas fed her easy shots all game long. She ran the court harder than she ever did in Indiana, suddenly finding energy she claimed she didn't have before. Convenient how that works out. The truth? Bonner probably didn't put in the work during the offseason with Indiana. She admitted to being tired and out of shape. She didn't give the Fever time to get into condition, then left when things got tough. Now she's with Phoenix in better shape, playing with better players, acting like a basketball genius. What really hits is how personal this all feels. You see it in Clark defending her teammates during that timeout. You hear it in the Mercury players' comments after the game. This isn't just basketball. Real feelings are involved. Kelsey Mitchell spoke about having the best veteran when Bonner arrived. That excitement is gone, replaced by the bitter taste of someone who gave up. Clark wanted to win a championship for Bonner, knowing it could be one of her last chances. Instead, Bonner chose the easy path. The Mercury won by 6 points, not exactly a blowout. The Fever actually out-rebounded Phoenix, had more assists, and shot better from three-point range. This wasn't some masterclass performance by the Mercury. It was a close game that could have gone either way. But that doesn't matter to Bonner and Thomas. They're acting like they just won the championship. The post-game interviews were full of shots at Stephanie White, claims about knowing all of Indiana's plays, and complaints about free throws that don't match reality. What's really funny is Phoenix coach Nate Tibbetts jumped in too. He talked about how teams don't get enough credit for dealing with injuries, which is rich coming from a guy whose team just beat a Fever squad missing key players. The lack of self-awareness is stunning. The whole situation shows what happens when players let emotions take over. Instead of playing basketball and moving on, Bonner and her new teammates are stuck in the past, fighting battles that should be over. Clark handled it perfectly. She stood up for her teammates when it mattered, didn't back down, and let her play do the talking. That's real leadership, especially from someone in her second year. Meanwhile, Bonner acts tough against a team she abandoned. She's celebrating a regular season win like it's the finals. The optics are terrible and everyone sees through it. The sad part? This could have been avoided if Bonner had handled her departure with class. She could have left Indiana quietly, joined Phoenix, and focused on helping her new team without throwing shade at her old one. Instead, she chose drama. Now, every time these teams play, there's going to be extra intensity. Clark and the Fever aren't going to forget how they were treated. Bonner created an enemy where there didn't need to be one. And for what? A few points in a regular season game. The Mercury might think they're clever for knowing Indiana's plays, but that information came at a cost. They lost respect around the league for how they handled this whole situation. Other players are watching, and they're seeing how Phoenix treats former teammates who don't work out. As for the playoff implications, this loss hurts the Fever's seeding, but it's not the end of the world. They still have games left against teams they can beat. The Mercury can celebrate this when all they want, but they'll still have to prove themselves when the playoffs start. The bottom line is that Dana Bonner showed her true colors in this game. She quit on a team that believed in her, then came back to gloat when she found a better situation. That's not the behavior of a champion. That's the behavior of someone who takes the easy way out. Caitlyn Clark, on the other hand, showed why she's going to be a star in this league for years to come. She didn't back down. She protected her teammates, and she handled the pressure like a veteran. That's the difference between someone who's built for big moments and someone who crumbles when things get tough. What's even more telling is how this whole situation reflects the broader narrative around the Fever this season. They've been dealing with adversity all year long, from injuries to tough scheduling to questionable referee calls. Through it all, they've kept fighting and competing. That's the kind of culture Clark is helping to build in Indiana. Compare that to Bonner's approach. When things got difficult with the Fever, she bailed. When she found an easier situation in Phoenix, she started talking trash about her former team. That mentality doesn't win championships. It just wins regular season games against teams you used to play for. The timing of all this trash talk is also suspect. Phoenix is gearing up for the playoffs, and instead of focusing on their own preparation, they're spending energy on petty drama with Indiana. That kind of distraction can come back to bite you when the pressure really ramps up in the postseason. And let's not forget that the Mercury barely scraped by a Fever team that was missing key players and dealing with all sorts of chemistry issues. If that's the best Phoenix can do against a struggling Indiana squad, what's going to happen when they face fully healthy teams that actually want to beat them? The whole episode just reinforces why players like Clark are going to have long, successful careers, while players like Bonner will be remembered for the wrong reasons. One shows character under pressure. The other looks for excuses and easy ways out. The league is better when players compete with respect, not when they air dirty laundry in post-game press conferences. Dana Bonner thought she could embarrass her former team, but all she did was show everyone her true character. Caitlyn Clark and the Fever will remember this disrespect when they meet again. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the drama, smash that like button and subscribe for more WNBA content that cuts through the nonsense.